Hello and welcome to Liminal Tarot for the week of January, 29th. We're recording this on the 30th, so it's the 30th through February 4th. Now, apologies for these being slightly late with these readings. My weekends have literally been booked up with, with readings and with other things that have had to get done. So I've not had as much time as I usually need to do these things. Usually I like to have this done by Saturday night, and it's been challenging lately. So apologies for the lateness of this. Okay, we'll jump right in. So there's a couple of things going on here, a couple of different currents that I'm seeing in the cards. Now today we have the Aquarian Tarot, we have my Antarian Oracle, Runes, Celtic Tree Oracle, Osho Zen deck, Moonology, Dark Goddess Oracle, Essential Oil Oracle, and also the Way of Wisdom of the Tao. So the currents are interesting. Now, if we think about the astrology for today, I'm taking a quick look at the chart. We have both Moon and the Mars conjunct in Gemini right now. So, and so this is third house. So that is very, when you have those together, when you're in Gemini, that tends to amplify communication. It amplifies travel. It amplifies speed. And to have Mars there can really heat things up. It can mean, slightly more aggressive or at least assertive speech. Sometimes it can be an impatience. And combined with the Moon, now we have a big emotional component that's added in with the general, what we'll call the more aggressive energy of Mars. So sometimes we have to be careful of very, very high emotions and things like that. Jupiter is in Aries right now, and Chiron has been there forever. That is the wounded healer. So it's been there for quite a long time. So again, Jupiter in Aries, that's very expansive fire energy. It seems to be very strong in today's chart. At the same token, we do have Venus in Pisces, which can add another layer of emotionalism to what's currently going on. And Saturn's still in Aquarius, and let me take a quick peek. The north-south nodes of the Moon are on the Taurus-Scorpio axis right now. So there's, and a lot of our communications, though, are currently still centered in Capricorn. Mercury is in Capricorn. So we're still, working our way through new material and moving into a new space. So that has a lot to do with today's reading because, first of all, if we look at the tarot, we have Page of Cups, we have Judgment, and we have the Fool. Now, Page of Cups is always about feelings, about burgeoning feelings, new feelings that have to be nurtured in order for them to grow. So this could be a new feeling that we have, a sense of wanting to start over from something. With Judgment, we have this idea that we are now making decisions about what is right and wrong for us, what to keep and what to throw out. And with the Fool, there's certainly not only the temptation, but the encouragement here to take risks, to do something new. There's definitely a vibe here of let the past be gone, move into something new and something that's a little bit more authentic emotionally, okay? So there's definitely a strong feeling here of really wanting to make a break with the past. Now, if we go over to the Osho Zen card, we have Sorrow. Okay, this is the Nine of Swords. Traditionally, the Nine of Swords has to do with when, that's that Mercury and Capricorn energy. And also just the fact that Mars is in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. It's the way in which our thoughts can go run on and on very aggressively. We can overanalyze things. And we can find ourselves focusing on, the future, on uncertainties about the future, on what we lack. And we end up continually, and again, with that Chiron and Aries, there's this continual sense of, revisiting that wound, and Jupiter's presence there can amplify that. We can be very, very fixated on what we've lost, on what we think we don't have, on challenges that we might have in our lives. And oftentimes these represent things that never actually come to fruition. We ruminate on things, everything's okay right now, but what if I don't have money in 6 months? Well, and then in 6 months, it turns out you have money. You want to stay out of the rumination pattern as much as possible. It is hard, understandably. This is just the way our minds tend to work, and the energies right now are really kind of promoting that. But I think there needs to be an awareness here that you might be doing that to yourself. So it may be just time to just put the brakes on and go, you know what, let me revisit that another time. When I have more evidence to see whether or not this is something real. If there's no evidence for that, then just worry about where you're at right now and about what you actually have right now. This is about sort of having, not just having gratitude, which is important, but also about just honoring what it is that you actually have working for you right now. And according to this, there seems to be quite a bit. The Maeve card over here usually has to do with opportunities, new things that are coming, and choices that you will have to make. Now, sometimes it's difficult to make choices. We want to make the right decision and want to know what the right thing is. But there's definitely this idea here that you are, you're not limited. You're definitely going to have, you definitely have options with regard to this. I've just taken a quick look at more other aspects of this card. There's usually invitations that are imminent with this card. There's new opportunities that are coming up, and you need to be able to respond to them in an appropriate and authentic way for yourself. Now, we are going to see some of this Mars energy around. The supermoon card, emotions are running high. This is actually a very good indicator of something being very, very successful that you are working towards right now. But again, there's this sense of a very, very high emotion here. And so sometimes when emotions are really high, we need to make sure that the flame that rises up doesn't burn everything down around it. So just be aware that it's good to take that energy and to channel it into working towards new things. But it's, you're kind of fighting a little bit with some of the energies from, particularly from Chiron, and also just the kind of very amplified nature of Jupiter and Aries, that very amplified nature of the moon in conjunction with Mars in the communication house. All of this can really amplify things for us and make us feel that, we frequently, actually with this kind of energy, I see a lot of impatience. We start something new, we're passionately dedicated to it, but we don't see results immediately. So we just like, you want to give up right away. And this is saying, no, that you the potential for things to be very, very successful. Just be aware that you're dealing with something very high energy, moving very fast, and you want to maintain your balance in a lot of this. This card, the Rune of Antares, Rune of Antares has to do with, it's very similar to Temperance in the Tarot. It has to do with trying to keep things, it does have to do with that big inrush of energy. The Antares rune is one that, Antares is like, it's a black hole probably, but it's a star that is, Antares literally means another Mars or a second Mars or an adjacent Mars, because it shows up very red in the sky. And so it tends to take on the energies of Mars. And in fact, what we are seeing is the light from a red giant. So Rune of Antares is about very, very strong, explosive kind of, energy, which if we're emotionally and physically drained, this can give us a real boost. But again, like everything else, it's a matter of, flow and balance and not being overwhelmed by that energy. We especially see that here. We have the Rune of Jera, the Norse rune, and then we have the Celtic tree card of Hawthorne. Both of these cards counsel restraint. Jera indicates a period of waiting. It's generally a card of the period of 1 year. Does not have to be 1 year. That's just, saying a time frame that's not in the immediate present. But, there's definitely a sense here of, still waiting for certain things to develop. I mean, the page here indicates the beginning of things. And often when we're at the beginnings, we don't know. We don't know exactly, we have some information. We know where we stand at the moment, but we still need to let other things unfold before we really fully have the big picture and know, where we might be going with a particular situation, or, in a particular environment, in our relationship with a particular person, whatever the situation may be. There's a sense that, you're still at the beginning here and you need to find out. So we've got Hawthorne, we've got this idea of restraint and the idea that something's going to take time. The nice thing about Jera is that it definitely encourages success. It's saying, yes, there will be success after a period of time. It's like the seeds are planted, everything's healthy, everything's growing, but, you may not see the shoots come up yet, still the winter time, both, literally and perhaps proverbially. So, you want to wait to see how things are going to blossom and how you want to cultivate, your end crop, your end product. We've got the Free Spirit card over here, the horse in the Way of the Tao Oracle. And this, of course, is a great card. It's a sign of abundance. But there's also a sense with this card, as you might be implied, that of not being hemmed in. You may be somebody who wants to be part of community, wants to be part of certain things, but is also ready to break out and do something different. And this is very encouraging of that. And again, there's this idea of balancing this new energy of wanting to run with the abundance and making sure that we don't, we want to be true to ourselves without stepping on others. Okay, there needs to be this. This is definitely a card of good fortune. Oftentimes, this is also a good card of travel. So again, with all of these Mercury elements, that is also boding well for for traveling, and for different opportunities or different reasons. Okay, so then we have the Essential Oil Oracle, and we have the Black Pepper card. And that is the key word is integrate. The trigger statement is I am trapped. The true statement is I am whole. It says allow the parts of yourselves you hide to make themselves known. In the light you will see the wisdom that they hold. And yes, this really fits in with this theme of where we trap ourselves mentally, and or what we feel we can't show to people, or what we feel we should be perhaps ashamed of, or for whatever reason we just feel like we don't feel comfortable sharing a certain aspect of ourselves with others. And again, that may be part of the tenuousness of new feelings. It can be because we have a lot of high emotion. So, in other words, whatever face you present, you want to make sure it's authentically you, and that you're honoring all parts of yourself. I mean, again, this is about integration of things that maybe seem opposite to us. I feel like I should, my tradition, logic, whatever tells me I should do X. My feelings are telling me to do Y. Okay, where do we find the intersection of those two things? And you want to make sure that you give your feelings enough of a fair shake. A lot of times we try to push them off and just say, I'm not going to pay attention to my feelings, because that's the kind of culture we live in. We're more focused on what we think makes sense and what's conventional than on, what we feel. So it's very important to pay attention to what you feel here. Okay, so overall, this is, again, there's this idea of it's time to break out, time to start taking risks, new opportunities coming in, lots of emotion here, but also a lot of worry and overthinking, which is very consistent with the astrology of the moment. There is the sense that whatever's happening, things are off to a start, but you're going to have to really wait for certain results. Certain things you may have to hold back on until you have enough time to, see how something grows and develops. So you've got a lot of this restless energy, but, some things, you want to go with it. You want to try to channel it productively. You want to use it to be able to open up more. Aquarian energy, certainly, where Sun's in Aquarius. This is about, Aquarius is about opening it up. It's about expression. It can also be about intellect and restraint and detachment. The Aquarian detachment, the good Aquarian detachment, is a detachment from outcomes, really. So this is a time to, allow yourself to explore things you have not explored before, but also give these ideas time to develop. And do remember, it's a highly emotional time where some things could be a little confusing or not really represented, or may represent too much of feeling and not enough of, what's, feet on the ground reality. So make sure all of, your communications, and make sure that your conclusions at the moment are, have some grounding to them. That's it for this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.